Hey there, beer tubers. Welcome back to another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. I'm Average Joe, and the beer that I have for review today sounds quite interesting, and it comes from Decadent Ales out of Mamaroneck, New York, and this is their French Toast. Now, right from the get-go, they have me sold because French Toast. I mean, any kind of beer that says French Toast on it, probably going to buy. This is a double IPA that is brewed with Vermont Maple Syrup and cinnamon. And it comes in at 8.6% alcohol by volume. And on the can here it says, brewed and canned for Decadent Ales by Dorchester Brewing Company, Boston, Massachusetts. Distributed by 12% LLC, Brooklyn, New York. The reason why that's interesting to me is because Decadent Ales showed up here like 3 or 4 months ago for the first time ever. And I never really heard anything about them. So I did a little bit of research, and apparently they're a nano brewery out of, like I said, Mamaroneck, New York. And they are contract brewed at Dorchester Brewing Company, at least for this beer. And they're distributed by 12% LLC, which is Evil Twin. So it kind of made me wonder because a good friend of mine, fellow beer tuber, Rod over at Rod J Beer Ventures, actually reviewed one of their beers, their double toasted marshmallow IPA. And he gets it in his area, and he's in Kentucky. Then another friend of mine, Todd, in Indiana, he got their beers. And it's like, okay, they're in a... I know both of them didn't trade for any of their beers, so starting to show up everywhere. So I'd be curious if any of you guys out there have access to Decadent and what state you're in, because it seems like they're all over the place, but they're a nano brewery. In fact, they don't even have their tap room open yet. They just broke ground a little while ago on it, so I don't know what the hell's going on, but French Toast double IPA sounds actually quite unique, and yeah, I just want to get into it because it sounds damn good. Anyway, the canning date on this is April 9th of 2018, putting this just over 2 weeks old, so pretty damn fresh. Yeah, I don't know much more about it, so I'm just going to pour it into the glass, see what we got going on. Sounds fantastic. The double marshmallow, or double toasted marshmallow did show up here, but I never did get a chance to pick it up, so I'm actually kind of disappointed, especially since Rod said it was good. Spoilers, because I don't think Rod posted that double toasted marshmallow review, but his Untappd check-in said it was pretty fantastic, so keep an eye out for that. Anyway, let's give a pour, see what we got going on here. Oh, wow, this is pouring out like a New England style IPA, so throw that over here for you guys to check out. Yeah, so like so many beers nowadays, it has the haze to it, right? It has the whole haze for days. This is like a lighter pineapple juice looking color. Finger of an off-white head, very creamy. I feel like I'm repeating myself so many times when I'm reviewing these IPAs and double IPAs because so many of them look very similar. And, you know, you guys kind of know at this point what these New England style IPAs look like. But whatever. I guess to have a proper review, you got to talk about the appearance. But, yeah, it plays the role. It kind of looks like you expect from the style. Anyway, let's get a nose on it because, in all honesty, I'm just so curious about how this maple syrup and cinnamon is going to play with the whole IPA aspect of this beer. So yeah, there's a shit ton of maple syrup. Yeah, this is not like unrefined maple syrup either. There's a nice sweetness behind it, and it smells like real maple syrup. Doesn't smell like a table syrup or anything. And it's big, it's pungent, it's bold. It's, as Paul over at PA Brew News would say, bombastic. There is a hint of cinnamon, some vanilla vibes in this one, and dare I say marshmallow kind of. It's not big, but there's everything blending together, giving me like a little bit of a marshmallow. Not toasted, just regular old marshmallow. That said, I don't smell any kind of hops in this one. The IPA characteristics of this double IPA kind of just, yeah, just gone. This is all about that maple syrup, about the cinnamon, vanilla, like I said, a little bit of the marshmallow. There's not much going on in terms of hops. I hope that's a bit different in the taste. Then again, I'm someone who reviews to my personal enjoyment and not style, which I know some people out there may or may not disagree with me or may take issue with that, but it's always my personal enjoyment. So if I love this beer, I'm going to rate it accordingly. And not according to style, so just keep that in mind. Not that my ratings mean anything. But anyway, I'm yammering on. Let's get into it. Cheers. Wow. That's pretty tasty. kind of like breakfast in a glass. Let me go back in for one more sip because a lot of things happening and my brain's kind of catching up to my palate currently. Yeah, so the star of the show is what? The maple syrup. It's big. It's vibrant. It is the predominant note. Again, it's a sweeter. It's a sweeter maple syrup character. There's a lot of beers that use maple syrup and it's unrefined, so you just get the maple flavor and not the sweetness. I'm getting the sweetness on this one, which is actually a welcomed thing for me because so many of those unrefined maple beers kind of lack the sweetness that I think actual, some refinement to the maple syrup and some sugar added and whatnot. It adds that sweetness that sometimes it lacks. And this one, it's adding that sweetness, and it's pretty damn tasty. That cinnamon, very slight, just a slight like cinnamon heat. A little bit more of that vanilla and that marshmallows in there too. This tastes more like you're drinking a French Toast ale as opposed to a French Toast IPA. If you just handed me and said, here's our 8.6% French Toast ale, yeah, for sure. I'd say the only thing the hops are doing to this one for me is kind of drying out the palate a bit. So it's balancing out that maple syrup sweetness, which is keeping the drinkability of this in check quite a bit. Because my palate's drying out, and I want to go back for another sip. You're hit with the maple sweetness, a little bit of that cinnamon and like vanilla and marshmallow. But then as it hits the back of the palate, the dryness just cuts that, which is actually quite unique. The body on this, medium full. It definitely has a nice heft to it. It's not thin at 8.6%. And it has a nice, soft, pillowy mouthfeel. Kind of in the vein of a New England style IPA, which I'd imagine, again, this is what they're going for. But at the same time, just with the mouthfeel, I'm kind of expecting hops, just because, again, it's supposed to be a double IPA, and just there isn't really any citrus or tropical fruit character. There's really no pine character. There's no dankness. There's no herbaceousness. There's really nothing that tells me this is a double IPA, other than the fact that it is quite dry, and I feel that is coming from the hops, or coming from maybe even the alcohol. But there's really not anything letting me know this is a double IPA. It's really nice though. It lacks complexity, like I said, pretty much maple syrup, cinnamon, and a little bit like vanilla and marshmallow. So it's not overly complex or anything, but it has a nice maple syrup character, and it's not overly sweet. It's quite balanced when it comes to the sweetness and the bitterness. And overall, it's actually pretty nice. I'm enjoying it. So if I was to rate this for style, like I said, I don't, but if I was to rate this for style, I'd probably give this like a 3 out of 5, because they're giving me maple syrup and cinnamon, but where's the double IPA characteristics? Where's the double IPA just in general? Really non-existent. But for personal enjoyment, I'm going to give this a straight 4 out of 5. This is like breakfast in a glass to an extent, if that makes any sense. But 4 out of 5, I mean, the maple syrup hits, the cinnamon hits. It's an easy drinker, 8.6%. Aside from that dryness, which could be coming from a bunch of different things, I can't tell it's 8.6%. I'm going to drink the rest of this and probably be feeling pretty good. So, I'm enjoying this, but I feel like, for me, I don't get any of the IPA characteristics, and if you just told me this is a French Toast Ale, it'd make more sense, but personal enjoyment, it's a 4 out of 5. So that was Decadent Ales, their French Toast Double IPA, and I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. Thanks for stopping by once again here on the Beer Patrol for another beer review. If you guys want to like, comment, subscribe, on board. I feel kind of repetitive saying that all the time, but I want to let you guys know I appreciate all your likes, all the subs, all the comments. I respond to them. Have you had anything from Decadent Ales? Like I said earlier, do you get Decadent Ales in your neck of the woods? Would you try a French Toast Double IPA? Would you be upset if you bought a French Toast Double IPA and you didn't get much of the Double IPA? I'd be curious because, again, a lot of people I know rate the style. I don't, and I'm disappointed that I didn't get more or pretty much any of the IPA characteristics in this one, but at the same time, I enjoy it. I'm going to drink the rest I can. No issues for me. So, Appreciate you guys stopping by. To the next one. Cheers.